Hello everyone, welcome to this 4-minute video on how to monetize your API calls to powerful large language models using Apigee. My name is Ayo. I'm an Apigee specialist at Google Cloud. Apigee lets you control access to your LLMs and also to monetize their usage effectively. With Apigee monetization, you associate a rate plan to your API product. I have a product ABC, you associate a rate plan to any of these API products, right? And with that product that has API proxies, you can call your LLMs. In the demo, I'll just show quickly how Apigee monetization works. Okay. Now, in this demo, I've created here on my left my Drupal portal. On my Drupal portal, and I'm logged in as my admin into the Drupal portal. Now, and on this tab, I would show a few things in my Apigee of what I've created. I've created here my API proxy called Unified AI V2. I have also bundled that proxy into a product called Unified AI V2 as well. Here is my proxy with the path, and here I have also attached a rate plan to it. Like I mentioned earlier, we associate a rate plan to a product for Apigee monetization to work. So my rate plan is called Symbol AI Gen AI Rate Plan. I also have some developer apps as well associated with it as well. Here is a view of my rate plan, Symbol AI Gen AI Rate Plan. And here we have the consumption-based fee tier associated with this as well. And the token consumption of 1,000 APIs as well attached to the rate plan. Okay. Now, after looking at that, we're going to quickly switch over to my regular user, my user developer who calls and wants to consume my APIs, right? Now, in the developer portal, when the developer logs in, has an account and they log in, they can easily go to the model garden and have a view of API products which they would like to purchase. I have here LLM token limiting, I have here LLM unified sample, I have semantic caching and unified V2 API. You would recall that the API product that I have configured here is unified AI V2, and which is this unified V2 API here. All right, so that's the API that I have. That's the product that I have, which I would like to consume. Now, how do I know that I have money and I can afford and I can call this API? What makes me able to do that? So if we look into my account, we'll see here, I have a subscription to that product, Unified AI V2, and that is what allows me to be able to make calls to the API products and the proxy and get and be monetized for that. And how can what is on my account that will allow me to make that purchase? Because I have a prepaid account, I also have a prepaid balance, and we can see now I have $85.70 in my prepaid account to make calls to the Apigee proxy. Okay, now let's make a test and try to make a call real quickly. What I do, since I already have that subscription and I have the products available in my profile, what I'm going to do, and I have a rate plan attached to my to the product, what I'm going to do now is go into my app where I have bought the product into. I'm going to get my key real quickly, and then now I have my key. I'm going to go back to the model garden, select my product, and then pass in my key here. That's authorized now, and then I'll be ready to make a call. But first, I'll enable a debug session so that we kind of have a view of the call as it comes through. That started, and then I'm going to make a call from within the developer portal to test it out. Here in the developer portal, I've created in my model garden. Here's the way I can simply try out my API proxy call. Here I've put in the authorize the key. So here I come to the text generation to try out my my call. Now the model I'm going to call is a Google model, and I'm going to use the text generation task Vertex on the Vertex model. And here you have the model provider in Google, and here we have the name of the model, specifically Gemini 1.5 Flash. Okay, so now I have enabled some headers here. I've enabled some headers here in my my payload, and I'm going to set this to true to enable mint. And enabling mint to true is the is the argumented payload that would allow for monetization to be activated. So we saw that I have $85.70 in this account. So when I'll make a few calls. The text here is the call I'm going to make, the request I'm going to make in the body of my message, or the prompt that I will send to the LLM, suggesting for a flower shop now in Maryland, as an example. So I'm going to execute this call a few times, and here I get a response. Here are some flower shop names inquired in Maryland. Take one or two more. All right, so that's 2 calls. Now a call has come through in the debug, and how do I know if if this call was monetized? Was I charged for this call? Let's go back into my account, and here under subscriptions, I'm going back here. We had $85.70 previously. Now I have $84.70. So I was charged about $1 for this call, for those 2 calls that I made, and basically that was a simple use of a simple scenario showing monetization at work. Right now, one thing I would like to mention, let's look at the debug under the sheets. What really happened here? So a few policies I would like to talk about that were basically in effect here, and I'll first of all, the first one I would like to start with is some policies, the cross policy. Now the cross origin resource sharing policy is one that allows me to make calls ensure that I can make calls from the developer portal domain, which is external to Apigee, and the calls come through. And then the next one I want to talk about is the monetization limits check policy here, this monetization limit check policy. So the monetization limit check policy, what does it do? This monetization limit check policy ensures that I have a subscription and I'm able to monetize for this. Now, some variables that we can look at that would validate that is mint limits check is subscription found. This here, mint limits check is subscription found, and there's one, it's true, meaning that there's a subscription that I have on this account. And the second one, another one that we could check is mint limit check status message. And here, yes, I have a limit check success, meaning that yes, there's a that is enabled, that's available. Another 2 policies that also are relevant for monetization is the 2 quota policies. I also need to have a quota policy in the request path of my call, and that monetization, that quota policy, what that will do in the request path is ensure that it will ensure that you have enough quota in your account. Now, on the request path, I have 1 or 2 variables that we can use to validate that. Flow variables that we can validate. So one is rate limit quota, allowed count. So here is the rate limit quota monetization enforcer allowed count. So we have a count of 1,000 tokens. So that's right there, so that's one. And another is available count, right? So 1,000 quota, 1,000 as well, right? So that shows me that that's in place. And on the response path, I have a quota monetization count as well. So in the request path was the enforcer. I could name it enforcer in the policy, and then in the response path is count. And here some variables for me are the rate limit monetization count exceed count here, and another for total count. So I have those variables passed as well. Okay, so that's a way to show me that I have monetization in effect in. So thank you very much for your time, and hope you enjoyed this short video about that.